What's up, guys? We'll see how many people we can get on here today. I just got off of TikTok and just seeing how things were going to be over there. It wasn't too bad. I mean, we had quite a few people kind of go through. Apparently, I didn't realize you had to be like at a certain level with them to let you, because they sent me a message saying I can go live, but I guess I wasn't full blown live. They were throttling me back, so we had a few people come through, but it wasn't anything too crazy. So I'm gonna be working on some boots and just seeing who comes on. We're gonna be skiving. So if you come on here and you jump on here, drop me a comment where you're watching from. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I will be happy to answer any questions. I will be happy to answer any questions. Oh, we got one person in. Welcome, welcome. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me? I don't even know where. Can you hear me? Can somebody hear me? Yes, no, maybe so. Antonio, what's going on, Antonio? I really appreciate you letting me know, man. Really appreciate it. Where are you watching from? Thank you, sir. Where are you watching from, Antonio? Hanging in there. Delaware. Okay, cool. My shop is down here in Georgia. So, how's the weather up in Delaware? I know some people around. I was just talking to a customer. He was saying they got thrown up with some pretty bad rain. So, how's the weather up there? What's up? Hey, I really appreciate you guys coming on and watching. I'm over here trying to find my marble. We got three people. 70 degrees. I think it's like 85 today down here in Georgia where I'm at. 85 degrees. But that 70 feels nice. Because I think there's not very much humidity in Delaware. Is there? I don't think there is, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I've got some people that help me at the shop now, so things get moved and I don't know where they go. Normally I keep everything all nice down here, or I keep them down here. I'm not gonna say nice, but because things get messy and all over the place. But yeah, I bet it's really bad around here August as well. I think August is probably the hottest month of the year here. Even for a Mexican, man. I'm Mexican. That's pretty hot. It gets pretty hot. If you guys want to hang out for a minute, I'll give you guys a tour of the shop. So I'm gonna have to find my stuff. It's not down here, so I guess we'll do that. We'll walk around for a little bit. And Tony, are you into boots at all, or are you just hopping on because you just saw the live thing? You got boots? Are you a subscriber to the channel? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe give you a little tool. Give you a little tour of the shop here. I'm walking around trying to find something, so I figured I'd just bring you along instead of you watching me just walk off. Oh, here it is, right here. This is what I was looking for. A little marble, little top so I can skive. Um, anything in particular, you guys? You guys have any questions about boots? You guys got any questions about boot making, repairs, quality, anything? I mean, I'll answer anything. But one thing I'll do is I'll do the same thing I did on TikTok earlier. Is I'll give you a little tour of the shop, show you some different machines that we use to make boots, and my hair's a little messy today, so. Um, but anyway, well, cool. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. Really appreciate the subscription, Antonio. I really do appreciate the support. Um, so this machine, so Antonio, you probably know about this, but this is the patcher. Probably from, I've seen pictures from like World War I where they still use this one to patch a bunch of shoes up. We still use it in the shop quite frequently. I've got another Singer 3115 over there. According to the serial number on it, it's over 100 years old. It was 100 years old last year, 23. So most of the machines that we use in our shop are vintage machines because they're made better. Unfortunately, with that, as they get older, it's hard to find parts for them. So even one of the machines I got over there, that blue one, I've had to have somebody make me parts for it because if you can find them online for sale, they're like super expensive, and it's just not worth it. So, but this is our outsole stitcher. Stitches the outside of the shoes for those that don't know. This is a McKay stitcher, which you don't really see a lot of videos of this machine, but what this machine does is it actually stitches on the inside of the shoe. We use that machine with a lot of the, especially boots made like in China, Vietnam, like those Ariats. A lot of them will use that machine that stitches them from the inside. What I use it for a lot is like a lot like some of these Russells up here that have the leather midsole before they have the sole. We'll stitch the leather midsole with that machine over there, and then we'll just glue the sole on the outside of it. And that's what I'm going to do with these boots as well. These boots were just glued on. They fell apart. So what I'm going to do, since we redid the foot bits, is I'm going to stitch out here at McKay stitch, and then we're going to put these sole guards on top of the stitch to protect it. So we try to stay pretty busy. You know, like I said, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. You know, a lot of people ask us all the time is if we work on just boots. No, we work on a lot of stuff. These are some Christian Louboutin shoes that are getting some new soles. Red Wings. I mean, we work on basically everything. So, but let's sky these boots real quick because we have to. We got to get these boots finished up. I'm starting to get feel like I'm getting a little behind on some of these boot orders. So let me got my little knife. Let me get my steel. What percent of people resold their shoes versus buying a new pair? I don't know the exact percentages as to who resolds versus um, buying a new pair. Like out of my customers, I even have customers like those boots that I just showed you. Some of those boots, these customers have paid me more to fix them than to just go out and buy a new pair. And that happens a lot too with Tecovas boots. The reason customers do that is because the materials that the manufacturer uses when they build the boots, it's not the best. Manufacturers over the years, they cut corners in certain spots because they know they can be replaced. Everybody's looking at their bottom line. And so they use lower quality leather for the bottoms, lower quality welt, unfortunately, lower quality um, shanks and stuff like that. So when you send them to us, we'll have to put better quality stuff in them. And when it comes to soles, sole guards, shanks, and stuff like that, a lot of times it ends up costing more money to have them repaired. Um, but a lot of customers end up going that route because by the time we're done with them, the boots are going to be beefier and they're going to last you a lot longer. So as far as the percentage, I don't have an exact number, Antonio, but it's it seems like more people nowadays want to get their stuff fixed. And even if they don't get it fixed, they're at least looking because a lot of them will contact me and if it's not worth it, I'll tell my customer be like, hey, it's probably not worth it um, to get them fixed because it doesn't benefit me to lie to the customer and tell them that yeah we can fix them, but in reality the inside of the boots, the guts, they're all trash. Um, because what'll happen at that point is I'll have to eat the cost to repair them because I'm not going to be the guy that calls the customer after we've already agreed on a price, after we've already agreed on what was to be done, to go back and ask them for more money. That's just not how I do it, and I learned that through trial and error. Um, but a lot of it just depends. I've got a pair of boots too. Let me see if I got them up here. This customer brought these boots in last week, I think, and he's had these boots since the 1990s. Now these are Red Wings, right? They're not cowboy boots, they're Red Wings. But he's had these boots since 1990. They don't make them anymore. But he was wondering why they were twisting. And if you look at the heel, the heel is pretty worn down. So when he walked, and these boots over time, they just got kind of stiff, and you see kind of how it rolls. So, so he paid me to redo those boots more than what he paid for them when he bought them new. And that happens. That happens often. Um, because you got to keep in mind too, the uppers are in great condition. There's no major cracks, and so it makes sense to, like you said, it makes sense to get them repaired. So, so when it comes to making boots, we got to do a lot of skiving. You see how thick that is? So we got to narrow that down a little bit. And this is just a Tina knife. If you guys have any questions, man, don't hesitate to reach out on. I mean, I'm not, I don't judge. I'm not. I'll answer your question as crazy as it may sound. Really appreciate your question, Antonio, by the way. And I really appreciate you being a subscriber. I know me skiving doesn't look as cool, compared to doing it in a video because of all the music and stuff like that. Hey Daniel, what's going on? Antonio, I mean the typical way, the right way would be to go find somebody that does it and work for them for a while. Um, Unfortunately, that's not the way that I did it. The way that I did it was I found somebody reached out to me that was retiring, and I had like a 2 week crash course. The rest of it I had to learn on my own. Um, and so if you can find somebody that's willing to teach you, you may have to even do it for free, like on your spare time. Go help them shine. Go help them do certain things. A lot of these older guys that are retiring who have nobody to take over the shop would be more than happy to teach you how to do it. That's how I was able to learn how to make boots. Was because the guy that taught me initially, um, he saw my willingness to learn, and he invited me to his shop after he had told me no. After he said no, I'm not teaching any more people. So find you somebody that wants to find you a shop local to where you're at, and go apprentice. You know, and that'd be the way to do it. Because being self-taught, I mean, you can self-teach yourself how to do it on videos and stuff like that. And I don't know if you're like me. Me, I can watch you do it and I'll replicate it. But it's so much easier to have somebody show you how to do it the right way versus you learning how to do it yourself. Because not only are you going to have to learn how to do the work, but you're also going to have to learn how to run the business. And a lot of these people, and for me, I had to learn that through trial and error, and from talking to people that do it too. And so, but if I had to do it all over again, I would have worked for somebody that I liked the work, and I would work for him for years before I would go out on my own until I knew how to do the work properly and I knew how to run the business. Dan, what's going on, Dan? You doing okay? Are you wire shop, Dan? Comes to cowboy boots being too tight. How much can they be let out? How much leather is usable under the welt for that usually? What's going on, Dan? I hadn't seen you recently. Um, Cedric, what are you referring to when it comes to the cowboy boots being too tight? How much can they be let out? What do you mean? Like you talking about like how much can they be stretched? It's usable under the welt for that. Or are you referring to like relasting them and making them wider? There's ways to make the boots a little bit wider. Yeah, anytime, Dan. You know you're always welcome. Come drink some coffee with me. Yes, you can. Now, don't quote me on that because a lot of it just depends on the boots and how they're made. Typically, if okay, so just based on your comment, I can almost guarantee that you normally have a high instep. People with high instep tend to have a harder time finding boots that fit. And what ends up happening with people with high instep, they end up finding boots that are too big sometimes just to compensate for their instep. I'll give you an example. One of my customers, he wears a size 9 off the shelf because he has really high instep. When we built his cowboy boots, he was a size 4 because of his instep. But we made his boots to his feet. Um, but if you can get the boots on and they're just snug, a lot of times they can be stretched enough without you having to take the boots completely apart and resize them. Because if you have to resize the boot, a lot of times you're getting into more of a relast, which means you have to completely take the boots apart. You got to get new footbeds, and then you got to widen those footbeds enough to give you room. Um, but even if you widen and I may be getting too crazy with your answer. Um, but because you gotta keep in mind, right? So this is a vamp that I have here for this boots that I'm building, right? So this is the vamp, and this is your instep. So what happens is, even if the boots get widened at the bottom, it look at the instep. It'll pull it down. So your thing is you're tight up here. So your width is going to be tall, not wide. And one thing that I would suggest for you, just to kind of eliminate a lot of this confusion, is depending on where you located, swing by a shoe repair shop, and ask them to stretch the insteps um, in your boots and see how that works. Okay, and if they won't do it for you, just ship them to me and I'll stretch them for you. Yeah, yeah, just come by the shop. I'm in Reynolds now, so yeah, just come by the shop and we'll stretch them for you. You may have to leave them for a day or so, a couple of days, but yeah, I'll be happy to stretch them for you. And you say 30 minutes. 30 minutes where? Like where are you at? You want Robbins, Macon, Perry? Okay, it's not too bad. Yeah, whenever you get a chance, swing by. Antonio? Are you talking about like work boots or like dress boots? But to answer your question, whether it's work boots or um, dress boots, you want to go with a wider toe box. So usually square toe boots tend to be pretty fairly wide. Um, Depending on your budget, in all honesty, I would try to see. I would go with a custom made boot if you can afford it, for both dress and work. As long as you don't need steel toe boots, because a lot of these custom boot makers, like myself, we don't. I don't make steel toe boots because it's hard to guarantee the fit. But if you're looking for something off the shelf, just get anything in a double E. Double E is going to be wide, and and look for like a square toe. That's going to be your best bet as far as like wide width goes. And as far as brands, I don't really have a preference because there's all these companies are making double E widths now, but I would try to go with something that's well made. Now, as far as the flat feet thing goes, um, as crazy as this may sound, you would probably benefit from a boot with a higher heel on it. And the reason I say that is because I used to have really flat feet until I started wearing boots with some heels on them. My father-in-law has really flat feet, and when we built this custom pair of boots, he actually, his we made his on 2-inch heels, and he walks in them all day long, basically all week, and he loves them. So anytime, Antonio, anytime, man. Yeah, I know it's not very fun to just watch me skive leather here, but and I'm going slower than normal because I have to trying to pay attention to the phone in this, which probably shouldn't be doing. There we go. We got to scalp the bottom and the tops so that when we start putting these boots together, they won't be super bulky. Because these are actually, I mean, this skin is fairly thick, so I don't know who all's in here who's jumped in so far, but give me a thumbs up if you're watching, if you're enjoying our conversations over here. If you have any questions about boots or anything like that, or shoes for that matter, drop it down in the comments and I'll do my best to answer it. I'll be happy to. Got any questions? Who all we got here so far? Who's still watching? It says we got 2 people watching, man. That's awesome. That is awesome. Can you guys can you guys hear the radio in the background? Who all we got watching? I wonder if it'll let tell me. Oh, won't tell me. Who's out here watching me how to sky this stuff? I really need to be doing this on Skype or something. It could have been done by now. But, this is probably something that would have been better on the Skyver than doing it by hand. It's just this is thicker. Yeah, there's definitely something special. I appreciate the support, by the way, Mr. Cedric. But yeah, it's definitely to me what's so crazy is like we do repairs a lot and stuff like that. But to me, making boots is just something what I enjoy, and I think I enjoy the process more than anything because, like you say, you start with nothing, you know, and you build something out of it. The funny thing too is a lot of bootmakers will not be showing you their process for making stuff because a lot of it's changing. Um, Nowadays, I think everybody's finally getting over that, but for a while, it was hard to get somebody to show you how to make boots because of the whole competition thing. And I know this is probably not the most interesting thing to see. Surprisingly, this bull shoulder's pretty tough. I don't remember it being this tough. You know, a lot of times when making boots, you see a lot with your hands. You feel. I do anyway. Well, I guess it might be time to cut the live off. I think we did it on TikTok for about, I think it was like 45 minutes. Yeah, TikTok got to watch me cut the pieces out. Now YouTube's watching me skiving. Well, appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I mean, I don't know who all is on here. Maybe nobody's on here.